We've got a best of 9 for you here. It's not very often we do a best of 9, but when we do, they usually turn out pretty great, and we've got some players that I know you guys will love. In the bottom right-hand side, our blue Terran player is INnoVation, taking on the red Protoss player Trap. This is a series from the R4X series of show matches, so it's a best of 9, and it's going to be a lot of fun, I'm sure. We're casting this live on Twitch, but it is designed to be a YouTube cast. So hello guys on YouTube. We've been doing this a little bit more lately because I've been busy, where I have some extra series I want to upload to YouTube and stuff, but then I don't have the time to necessarily cast it because we're streaming so much. But then we get a break in between events on Twitch, so it's like we may as well cast this now and then, you know, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. We keep the stream live, and we get to give you guys the YouTube content that you're looking for. So if you're enjoying this cast, don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to comment down below. And don't forget you can subscribe to the channel as well. This is, again, designed to be a YouTube cast, so I'll not be reading Twitch chat or any shoutouts or anything. So it is fully focused up on the game. So it's a proxy racks from INnoVation to get off to a feisty start here on Nightshade. Game 1 of this best of 9. As best of 9 goes, map order is obviously kind of interesting because you get to see a lot of the maps guaranteed. So some of the maps that sometimes players would veto, etc., come through. And while I don't necessarily think Nightshade is a big veto for TVP players, it's just something to keep in mind as we go through these maps, that we could see some funky strategies. As Trap gonna drop the double dot, he's like, where the hell is your barracks? And the answer is his barracks just does not exist. Because his barracks is across the map, of course. The Trap, realizing this, he will start up a Zealot right away. Cybercore coming down. There isn't a massive delay usually on the Nexus here, but the Zealot is important because you do need it to stop bunkers building. If a bunker builds at the front and you don't build the Zealot, you just have no way to put damage onto that SCV. Whereas if a Reaper comes out and the Zealot's there, yeah, the Zealot takes hits from the Reaper, but the Zealot lasts long enough to deny the bunker. So the Zealot is a necessity here, and that's all that INnoVation's really hoping for with this first Reaper. Of course, it does keep this Adept busy too and buys a bit more time before units come across the map, and because it's not a CC super early from INnoVation either, because you go CC after the factory, you also don't have to worry about this Adept pressure across the map as well. So there's a couple of benefits to gain from this. Of course, his barracks is across the map and not quite in the position, as we do have our Warp Gate building up on the Cybernetics core. And this probe just trying to fight SCV is going to be able to kill the probe off. So probe goes down, and the next barrack starts up from INnoVation. So he's going to go double racks here. This one actually landed out on the map. I wonder if he's going to do something funky with that, or if he's just too lazy to bring it home. I don't know. It's kind of weird for it to just stop mid-map. Usually you'd bring it home unless he just wants to go for like a later scout a bit. It really feels like he's got a plan. Yeah, he's going to start a reactor. What a hero. He's going to start a reactor, and well, there's a Stalker kind of hunting to see where the Rax is, and the Rax, again, like I said, has gone, but not all the way home. So this can maybe create a bit of extra pressure from INnoVation earlier than what Trap is expecting, because of course, if you're, as Trap, if you're expecting this barracks to fly all the way home, and then and then it doesn't fly home and it builds units before then of course you can get into a little bit of trouble very quickly, basically, as Reaper going to be joined up by the Cyclone here, and these couple of units are going to turn back around into the middle of the map. This reactor is going to be finishing in a few moments as well. It's getting that up and ready to go as the Warp Gate going to be completing. Gateway going to finish up in the main base also. We do just have Trap Zealot coming forward as the Cyclone lock-on doesn't do too much there with the stim pack setting up in the main. Just going to be seeing another tech lab dropping on the other barracks. So that'll be for combat shields, and I guess, yeah, you just stack up Marines over here and you just make like a big 3-racks push, bit of a support from tanks or so. I mean, that's what it seems like, right? Unless you're just going to play a very normal game and keep these Marines building over here all game long. I mean, that seems kind of crazy. You know what I would do instantly if I did this? The second I build my extra racks, I would rally this racks back home because it'd be on the same hotkey, and my Marines would wander across and probably under an observer, and Trap would be like, huh, why are your Marines coming from my side of the map, or at least in the middle of the map, you know? As the see he rallied back, but INnoVation's smart enough to then fix it afterwards. See, that's where I would fail quite horribly, I'm sure. Hallucination in towards the main as the Cyclone gets a lock on. Marine helps out, and the Phoenix hallucination will drop. Observer of Trap continues a bit deeper in towards this main base now. I'm going to be keeping an eye overhead as these SCVs mine away quite comfortably, and Trap does bring some units in the center. I mean, this is the sort of thing you got to be careful about. Oh, this Marine's off on a bit of a journey. These other Marines were actually pulling back towards the main army, so everything will gather together here. Like I said, he's going to have Stim. He's well on his way to combat shields. Trap is, well, currently not seeing this moving out. There's Observer on its way now to try and pick up some further info, but he needs to be careful with this. If INnoVation's paying attention, he might just see that little buzz, and you can see Trap moves it back instantly. Did INnoVation spot this? Seems like he did not. That, or he didn't have a scan. He doesn't want to waste time. He did have a scan. He just didn't notice it. So let's get information to have, as these tanks will be forced to siege up already. Here come the SCVs as well. So INnoVation really making an aggressive push off of this. SCVs, Marines, and tanks all pressing forwards. A couple of Zealots going down. And the army will continue up towards the natural expansion here. Turns around again, though. Gets another Zealot. Pushing up in towards the natural expansion here. So, going to be seeing the Cyclone gets a lock on. Picks away that Immortal's barrier. And triple bunker coming across the front. Wow. Wall's off with the shield battery. I mean, now the shield battery falls. The wall is somewhat denied, as we do see Trap still kind of floundering around in the middle of the map. But this is really difficult because the bunkers are so far along. His units are kind of a bit here, there, and everywhere. He's going to get a full wall off up, so nothing useful really comes through here. Okay, he actually does lose one bunker on the top side. He's Immortal having some play, but look at the damage he's taking. Okay, it's time to go for this. These probes are going to start pulling in the tanks. Well, they should really turn and target fire down Stalkers / Immortals, I think. And he is going to target fire the Immortal in the background. Well, the bunker's finished up, but they're burning down. There's only one bunker left, and it's still building up here. Marines on the left-hand side have to kite away from Zealots on the right. Sentry and the Stalker will go down, so that's going to be cleaned out, and it just doesn't feel like Trap really has that much left. As INnoVation continues to push forwards, he gets a few more Marines in this bunker that was still building. So in the end, it looks like this Nexus will go down. And this bunker going to come up as well, so he's just going to keep bunkering and pressing forwards. Of course, Trap only on the 2 bases to make that 1 base now. And INnoVation will continue this contain at this stage, basically. And I feel like he had Stim, and then he never even used it on a lot of the units. As you see the, I guess he used it on some of them, just some of these are reinforcements, of course. Big fight for INnoVation. Just got a lot of the kills he needed, right? Got a lot of the tech units down. Stalkers down, etc. This is nice. Going to now be able to pick off this gateway. Obviously, needed the scan for this, so otherwise he doesn't have high ground vision, which is kind of the issue. He's going to scan again and keep those Immortals at base. INnoVation knows the power of this, and don't think Trap is too happy about this. As you do see the tanks trying to push a little bit further forwards. Another barracks dropping down. Bunker is in some trouble, and the Marines making their way up to the high ground. He's actually getting a couple of Archons. Archons are really big here because obviously the splash damage onto the Marines can go a huge way to helping out. Is it just too late, though? Well, I'd say there's a very good chance that it is just a little bit too late. We'll see what he can do. Immortals in the Prism. Archons to get the Marines. I would have actually maybe liked them. I kind of like the Immortals around the back for the tanks, yes, but I kind of also like the idea of the Archons having the War Prism to help them get on top of the Marines, because they've had to come down this ramp against Zealots. And that's going to be GG. And we're going to be seeing the first game of this best of 9 go on the way of the very, very aggressive INnoVation. In the bottom right-hand side of our second map, Simulacrum, now a blue Terran player, it is INnoVation. And the top left-hand side, our red Protoss player is Trap. So as we jump into this one again, hello everyone on YouTube, hope you guys are doing well. Just a quick mention, of course, to say thank you for all the support lately. We've just passed 17,500 YouTube subs, which is awesome. Our goal was to try and get 20,000 YouTube subs this year, and we are well on course for that. To the point where we might actually up the challenge to like 25, or dare I even say 30,000 YouTube subs this year. I mean, 30,000 would be really crazy, but we might get there if we have some continued success, of course. So if you guys are enjoying the content, enjoying what you're watching, hit that subscribe button. I had someone the other day come in the comments be like, Wardy, I've been watching you for months. I didn't even realize I didn't subscribe because your content just always gets suggested to me. So if you're one of those people, get on it, give it that click. See when we upload every single day. only the best games from the stream and some of these casts as well, which go that one step extra. So always the best StarCraft that we have going on. As you see that probe, it's going to be nibbling away at this SCV. Obviously barracks in the base this time around, so Trap will realize that this time it's obviously a little bit more of a regular opening, nothing too crazy. As the probe comes out down to the natural, and SCV comes in to nibble away at this probe. So probe taking some damage here. Nexus of Trap sets up on the natural expansion as well. A few probes pulling in, and the cybernetics core drops in on the top side of this as well. So again, that cyber core to continue this little bit of a wall off. Simulacrum as a map, one of the ones that's quite powerful for blink. Definitely can blink in, like, yes, on the Terran side of the map, blinking up here. You really want to keep your barracks back here as INnoVation, like over here at least, because those tech labs can be very exposed otherwise. He actually does have the better half of the map to be spawning on when it comes to that, because if your tech labs on this side, then they're pointing towards where the Stalker's blinking, and that makes Stimpack and Combat Shield pickoffs very powerful. So something to be cautious of and something to watch out for. As we have our Reaper jumping up, the Adept coming in, and Reaper is going to be pushed back down to the low ground, of course, as it just looks for its information, trying to see at Twilight Council, trying to get confirmation that this will once again be a blink opener. Of course, plenty of maps here to kind of test out different openers on for Trap in this best of 9 series. Not too surprising again to see blink on Simulacrum. Not too surprising to see it being used 2 games in a row. In general, blink is probably the most commonly used opener in PvT, especially someone like Trap who just likes to get set up in the game. Blink Stalkers to help defend some drops early. You know, you get map control with it as well. It's the exact sort of style that Trap likes to play, because it then naturally leads into Stalkers and Zealots and lots of gateway units out on the map. And that's, again, it's just that sort of Trap style that he really likes, he really embraces, I suppose. And he really likes to make the most of, as the blink just chrono boosting away. Reaper's still not found its way in here. And Depth watching the high ground jump up. Of course, it's difficult because none of these units move across the map, but of course it means that INnoVation doesn't take any damage early in the game either. As we do have our blink just chrono boosting, like mentioned. He goes Robo before the extra gateway, so this shouldn't be too aggressive here from Trap. This should be the idea of just getting up into that Observer or so early, getting a bit more vision, being a little bit safer. Even see him building a sentry here as well, so in general just a couple of ways to make sure you can scout, stay a little bit safer overall. INnoVation will be going for the Widow Mine drop now after this opener, as all 3 of these Widow Mines didn't feel the need to build a early Hellion, which usually acts as defense against an Adept or additional scouting. So that does mean he's got triple Widow Mine to work with. Doesn't look like he's going to drop one off and walk it in. That's a trick that a lot of the Terran players have enjoyed lately. You know, you drop one Widow Mine off, like, in the middle of the map, it walks in towards the natural, while the other Widow Mines drop the main, and it's just that, you see the medevac come in the main base, and so your brain kind of shuts off the idea of something walking into your natural at the same time. Of course, the more that's used, the more people kind of realize that a little bit, so, and the more, players start watching out for it specifically, rather than just relying on kind of muscle memory of the brain in a way to just sort of deal with these Widow Mine drops. Anyways, here we go. First Widow Mine unloads, and that's already a good denial of mining time. That's a dead medevac, however. Stalkers have blinks. These 2 Widow Mines shouldn't be able to do too much else, because the Stalkers should be able to blink micro set them off, so that should not be any problem at all. And it's a really good defense overall, realistically, right? You lose 1 probe, 3 Widow Mines, and a medevac. Obviously, you reveal the fact that you have blink, but that was going to be pretty much an inevitability anyways, as the first forge starts up from Trap. So still sticking to these 3 gases for the moment. INnoVation will play a 3-rack style, so this is Trap really kind of getting what he wants out of this. As you go into the 3 racks here as INnoVation, Trap's just going to have plenty of units off the 3 gas. If this was a 3rd CC from INnoVation already, maybe we see Trap teching up a little bit faster, taking gas 4, Templar Archives, still going Zealot Stalker, but very quickly into Storm and Archons, etc. behind it. Whereas now, this should just be Zealot Stalker alone for quite a while longer, although at the moment, it's currently missing charge, and hopefully doesn't miss that forever, else would be in some trouble. INnoVation salvages a bunker as he gets very close to having Stimpack and Combat Shields. And you'll see these the Stalkers here with this SCV now. So now he knows what's up. There's a few Marines around the top side going to make its way, or make their way, towards the natural. As we actually just see a recall home. Medevac's going to load up some bio units, drop down, kill this probe, which has been here spotting for quite a while. And this trap, I think he's just dotting because these Marines just walked up this ramp and he doesn't know why. These Marines just walked up this ramp. So I don't think this is Trap making a mistake or is really missing anything. Just those Marines trying to walk into the natural and doing absolutely nothing. Maybe they would have worked if they were synced up with another attack elsewhere. They're going to have a couple of Marauders and Riddle Mines heading out on the map too, just as this main army positions itself to come in from the bottom side of the third base here. So 3 gases for Trap, of course. He's forgotten charge, though. There's no way you're not meant to have charge building in this scenario. Don't believe it. Right now, Trap's like, oh, I wish charge would hurry up and finish and make life easier. No, Trap, buddy. You really just forgotten charge. You're not having a good time. 7 probes go down. And look at this. 5 more Zealots. And again, where's the charge? It just isn't here, as you're going to see these Zealots slowly wandering into this. I mean, in the end, INnoVation lifts, and you'll go drop the natural instead. As these couple of Widow Mines came in, caused a bit of chaos in amongst all of this. So that's that other Medevac and coming through in these couple of Widow Mines. Still trying to get a little bit more done as he loads back up. INnoVation back down toward the third base. This Widow Mine does burrow, and it's just going to find the 1 probe. Good response by Trap. Good awareness of what's happening over in his main. While the rest of this aggression was happening, INnoVation just going to park up this Medevac between natural and third base for a moment. And upon seeing what his opponent is playing, he's just going to go Ghost Academy, get towards those ghosts, those EMPs. Enhanced Shockwave, something you can obviously add in to make those EMPs that little bit better. I love this. Snipes 1 probe, lifts up, gets back out. I'm going to say it one more time, guys. There we go. He's realized it. Charge now underway. Yeah, but charge is like a... And +1, I mean, +1 armor. Usually you get charge and +1 upgrade in this build at like a similar-ish time. So yeah, this is really a big miss from Trap. Not sure how much it would have done necessarily in this previous fight. Like, there was only a couple Zealots initially. Obviously, the extra Zealots that warp in, if they're that much faster, they get around here, they flank better. They don't all just queue up to die here. And so it does just make it that little bit easier to then shut down. Medevac pulls away through the top, and well, Prism has a few Zealots to go and harass. Definitely feels like Trap needs to get a little bit of something done here, because at the moment, it feels like everything is kind of going INnoVation's way. Mostly because INnoVation's the one trying to deal damage, and he's just finding success in trying to deal that damage. Bio joining up beneath these Medevacs, Widow Mines, Bio, Ghosts, out through the bottom side here. Storm on the way up. Couple High Templar coming in. +1 attack upgrade on the Forge coming into play as well. A few Marines all the way out over this left-hand side. Yeah, come on, Zealots. A couple of SCVs already dropping. 2 more Zealots unloading into the main base as well. Make that 3 more. So a lot of Zealots coming in here. Widow Mine blows up a Zealot as Warp Prism gets shut down. So that's going to be the end of that. He still doesn't have charge because it's just not finished yet. You know, that's like absolutely worst case scenario, right? Like, if you still don't have charge now, he doesn't even have Storm. Trap is just not ready to deal with this attack. I mean, just doesn't have... I mean, because there's no charge, INnoVation just runs straight into it. If there's charge, maybe INnoVation's a bit more hesitant. If he's a bit more hesitant, maybe you get the Storm finished. It's just another way to buy that little bit of time, right? But yeah, this is obviously disastrous for Trap. He killed a few workers across the map, but he's lost the same amount over here already. And this Bioforce is still obviously here. And that's a nice Storm. INnoVation will actually attack through it in towards the High Templar, cleans that out. Now backing away and probably just looking for reinforcements. Loses a Ghost. This other Ghost that's here would be nice to save because it's almost back onto an EMP in a couple of seconds. We'll have that ready to go again. And obviously a new EMP here could hurt a lot. Hit this Immortal, hit the couple Stalkers. There's a lot of good potential shots there. Hits the Immortal, takes the shields and the barrier away. Makes it way less tanky. And these units coming up this ramp having a very good time. This new High Templar does not have the energy to storm for quite some time either. So that will be a little while until it's ready. As INnoVation will have too much bio and just breaks Trap down in this game number 2. Going to take a 2-0 lead. And really this one is just on Trap. Really just no charge changes so much of this game. From a few minutes ago to this moment here where he really has just lost everything. INnoVation will take game 2 and a 2-0 lead in this best of 9 series. And really time for Trap to start making some progress on that scoreboard, because if you go down 0-3, I mean, that's a huge mental battle to get back in from. Everdream for our third map as we go to the top right-hand side to start us off with the blue Terran player up to 0. It is INnoVation. In the bottom left-hand side, our red Protoss player, Trap. I like it when Trap shows up and plays a couple of these show matches. He doesn't play everything online, but he doesn't shy away from a show match here or show match there. In fact, I know he's playing a show match against, I believe, TY at some point in the very near future. That actually might be happening right now as I'm casting this, in fact, but obviously this is replays. But yeah, I'm going to get the replays of that, and hopefully it's a good series so we can cast that and upload that for the YouTubes as well. I know a lot of people on the channel have been mentioning we've just been casting TVZ lately. And especially on the YouTube, because we have mostly been uploading TVZ, but it really has just been a case of anything that's not been TVZ has just been kind of uninteresting. Like, we've had so few games with Protoss players that have just been good, you know? Like, I think we had a grand final between Stats and Solo that was pretty good. And otherwise, like, the other PvZs and PvTs have just been... what? You know, I shrugged my shoulders. I'm like, you know, they just weren't YouTube worthy. Quite frankly, TVZ's been the best matchup lately. It's been a lot of fun. We've had a lot of good TVZs, to be fair. As we do have the Reaper about halfway done here. This probe obviously just scouting, being chased by the SCV a little bit. Command center drops down across the map. It's a similar story for the Nexus. And INnoVation comes up into the main base to have a little bit of a scout here, trying to see what is going on. Cybernetics core about to complete, and the SCV will go back into the middle of the map. Reaper of INnoVation from the top right-hand side. No reason to stick back at home. The Adept is not fast enough here right away to cause some pressure, so he will come across and at least try and scout a little bit. And we can go from there. So there's that command center on the natural. Reactor on the racks coming up, about halfway done at the moment, and a Stalker building on the gateway too. There's going to be a second racks from INnoVation once more here, and then a factory. So this is very reminiscent of a 2-1-1 build order. But I don't think it's quite going to be 2-1-1 exactly. I'm trying to think who did the aggressive build the other day, where I think it was Thermal did like a 2 racks. I think this was yesterday in the ESL Open Cup. He did like a 2 racks where he went 2-1-1, but he actually didn't go reactor on the factory. He went for a Hellion production and then a starport, and he built 1 medevac at a time. It was very weird. I think he did something crazy off the start of it anyways. There was, this Adept gets in, so it's obviously a very nice scout here for Trap to see what's up early. As Trap has changed his tech choice up as well, by the way. He's gone for a Stargate here this time, and now an Oracle in production rather than what was the Twilight Council the last 2 games. So, yeah, there's a Hellion from INnoVation now starting a starport. So I wonder if this is just a build that's kind of starting to come to fruition for the Terran players here. Okay, so let's see. He's going to build multiple Hellions, so I think this is just going to be an attack at the front with like simmed bio and like 1 medevac supporting. Let's see if maybe INnoVation does something differently than expected on that starport and maybe goes for like... You can maybe go for like a Liberator to harass in the main while you hit at the front with the Bioforce. The idea of the Hellions is the Hellions, if probes are pulled to deal with this, which is oftentimes the case when you go for these early bio attacks and you catch the Protoss off guard, if you pull the probes, then the Hellions can just shred those probes, whereas the bio has to then kill all the probes, and in that time the bio count gets reduced enough to then obviously be cleaned up. But obviously if you just kill the probes so quick, it's even more deadly in game ending. Obviously if you're killing a bunch of probes, generally it's pretty good for you anyways, but yeah, it's also just the idea of maybe cleaning out some of the Zealots and so on a bit faster as well, I guess. Yeah, let's see. Or maybe you can actually Hellion drop into the main with the Hellions, with the medevac, and then go from there. You know, there's a few different options basically, right? So you got 3 Hellions. It looks like it is a Hellion drop and a bio push out. Okay, I kind of like it. Triple Oracle here from Trap. I would always say whenever you build like 3 Oracles and there's a very early bio push against you, it's always a little bit scary because those Oracles, yes, they can help to overwhelm Marines, but you really need to make sure you have the gateway units behind it to help out. Multiple shield batteries on the way. Both of them in the natural expansion. The main base, there's already one finished up, in fact. So, really good coverage on the shield batteries here. Oh, sorry, that was a pylon, not a shield battery. So, actually, one in the main, one in the natural. I counted wrong. As the Oracles show up, this is pretty bad because that actually is going to get a ton of SCVs. Now, obviously, INnoVation is hoping to get some damage done in the meanwhile, but the first Hellion drop does nothing. Now the Bioforce coming in the front, trying to get something done as well. A few of these SCVs still dropping. These Oracles have a lot of energy. They didn't really use their energy until now, and there's just no anti-air at all. Obviously, a couple Marines showing up won't do enough as INnoVation tries to come at the front, loses his Hellions already. With a shield barrier here, this is going to make life difficult. A lot of Adepts as well. So a very tanky army is... Well, the Lone Phoenix won't really add much to this, but just feels like those Oracles are doing so much damage across the map. INnoVation is on a timer to really deal some damage, and he's going to drop into the main. I don't know how much I like to drop into the main because now these other units finish up on the natural. Maybe he's just trying to clear the way for the Hellions to run by, but he's not paying attention to it. Just feels like everything joined together would have been the better response to this. Of course, INnoVation not being able to reinforce this, INnoVation not being able to rebuild off this because of the economy, and it's just, well, it's just a lot of unfortunate moments. And it seems like Trap is going to get his first win. He actually hunts down that Medevac, gets the kill. The Widowmine kills one Oracle, but that's not enough for INnoVation. Not after so much loss. I mean, how many SCVs did he lose? 23? He lost 24 in the game overall, so he's down to 22 SCVs against the 45 probes, and this attack has just not worked at all. And I really mean, like, at all. So Trap takes game 3, puts himself on the scoreboard here finally, and will be, well, having a little bit of success holding off this attempted aggression from INnoVation. Eternal Empire. As we start in the top right-hand side, our blue Terran. This is INnoVation. Taking on the red Protoss in the bottom left, it is Trap. Good combined counterattack and defense to take the lead and the win in game number 3 to get himself up and running here. Finally in this series, as we settle into Eternal Empire, we have had some faster games here so far, some more aggressive games. Maybe Eternal Empire is that chance to go into something a little bit longer, you know. It's a hard map to end games on. Maybe Trap. A couple of real options for Trap here as well, right? You know, Stargate, just to get a good idea of what's going on, keep map control. That or Blink Stalkers, right? And same idea, keep some map control and kind of play from there. Of course, such a nice map to kind of just play longer games on and to get, get that, get set up onto 3 bases safely, basically. So this is that. Just as this game starts, a couple of quick mentions on selling out, of course, on the YouTube. A lot of people lately have been, which is wonderful, have been asking me how they can support the content. A couple of best ways, if you're watching on YouTube, is to check out the Patreon page, patreon.com/WardiTV. Now, everything that you pledge on Patreon, actually 100% of that goes towards our tournament prize pools. So that obviously helps me out, because if I can fund more tournament prize pools, I can get more great players, and I can get more great content for you guys. So that's a great way to support. The other great way, as we've had a few of these lately, YouTube channel memberships. There's a join button beneath each video, and you can join the YouTube channel memberships. We've added the role in Discord as well, so if you're a YouTube member, once you've joined, I think it's $5 a month. Once you join, you can actually get the role on Discord, you can join the subscriber channel, you can actually get the replay packs and stuff there, and so on and so forth. So another great way of supporting the content if you're enjoying it. Just to kill a moment or two in this game while not much happens. We wait for this Cyber Core to finish, and the Nexus coming down onto the natural expansion. Waiting for the tech choice basically of Trap. It's going to be a Stargate. Obviously, again, bit of a larger map. I think in a best of 9 series, you play to the maps as well so much more, right? And, on Eternal Empire gives you a really good reason to play Stargate. It's okay for Stalkers. You do have this jump up in the main from the natural, which can be nice and put some pressure on, but I like it because you're likely to open Blink Stalkers in a lot of the other maps, so it's another good chance to keep it different, right? So Stargate it will be. I mean, it's kind of, I say this, but in general, Stalkers and Oracle openings are both very interchangeable. I wonder if we see, this should just be oracles, right? Of course, we have seen some Stargate players in PvT lately that have been very Phoenix focused. I don't think that's really a necessity here on Eternal Empire due to the size of the map, but he is going to go for a Phoenix. Okay. Okay. In a way, maybe the size of the map helps with that. If you go Phoenix and you don't want to be, die to a big bio push or something, then a large map helps you get those Phoenix up. The Phoenix are great defensively because the Phoenix really achieves so much in slowing the Terran's aggression down. Medevacs get hunted if they commit. Widow mines can be lifted up before they burrow. Hellion drops, well, you can lift the Hellion run-bys even. You can lift the Hellions up before they get the shots off. There's so much to be done here when you go for the Phoenix's trap. Oh my god, there's going to be a fusion core from INnoVation. So INnoVation is going to go for a battle cruiser, and Trap is going to go for Phoenix. So it's funny because the Phoenix just don't really do damage to a BC. It's like, a BC is so tanky, it takes a lot of hits. The Phoenix just don't do that much to it. Now, a few Phoenix might be able to get something done. Obviously, the big thing I think is that the Phoenix will be able to chase the BC out into these, dead air zones. So where if you were up against Blink Stalkers, you'd be able to fly away and kind of sit here until you have a teleport available to teleport home and repair. Now those Phoenix are going to be able to continue to force the fight, right? So that's pretty big. As you can see, INnoVation is very eager to make sure those Phoenix do not pick up scouting information. Wants to try and deny as much information as possible. Would love it if Trap was not able to figure out exactly what's going on. But one Phoenix has made its way around and into the main. And he sees the fusion core, so he knows what's up from the start. As there was a Widow Mine in this mineral line as well, which was not able to get the connection. Phoenix able to avoid that as well. It's a great little play there, and you can see immediately actually starts up a Void Ray from the Stargate, which will actually do a little bit better against the battlecruiser than those Phoenix will. Of course, if you can prismatically align, you can use the ability on the Void Ray. It gets bonus damage versus armored, which a battlecruiser absolutely is. And INnoVation is just like, okay, you scouted me, I'm just gonna not do it. Just moves away from these tech labs, gets the barracks onto them instead, and now the Starport and the factory both build a reactor. So INnoVation just says, cool, yes, it's an investment from me, but you're going to invest to defend it. You can see the Void Ray, the shield batteries. So in a way, he's kind of forced an investment of his opponent that might just even this out anyways, right? Especially like the Void Ray. It's a big gas investment that now is, I'm not going to say a Void Ray is completely useless, right? You can still kill drops that try and drop by or something like that, but it's not what you usually want in this army as Bio comes up here. And as you see this Bioforce now as Trap, I imagine you cancel the second Void Ray. I'm going to start a Forge. Trap, don't tell me you're going to actually finish the second Void Ray. You are? Interesting. I wonder what he feels the use for the second Void Ray is then. Or what he's going to use it for. Because obviously Void Rays aren't something you typically build in TVP. So now that you've got to, how do you put them to use? They can be good, I think, if you just kind of sit them out somewhere and kind of watch for drops coming in. They can obviously kill a Medevac so fast as well, activate prismatic alignment again, and boom. Medevac drops very quickly indeed. As you just see these units from Trap joining up on the third base. Charge on the way up, and he's going to go +1 armor, so obviously it's all the things you'd expect this to be. As a follow-up right now, 2 Voids just hanging around in the main. I guess he's just going to wait until he finds an opportunity to make the most of them. Yeah, it's obviously very interesting. Now the Marines coming out onto the map. I still feel like, obviously, with 2 Void Rays invested, it's a much bigger investment than the Fusion Core. Like I said, I'm just trying to think if there's any way you can use those Void Rays to make this worthwhile or so. So depth goes down as it scouts in towards the main. Marines, a couple Medevacs out down the bottom side of the map, and a few of these units here from Trap just hanging out the front of the third base. A couple High Temple will warp in, and they're going to morph into an Archon. The rest of this from INnoVation out down the bottom side. Hallucination, gonna die off before we can even set off a Widow Mine. Inno has this bio push down the bottom, and instantly Trap's just like, yep, I'm not holding that, just cancel the 4th base. So he's just gonna give this up, and INnoVation, a very easy job done there. As you see, the Void Rays have split up, so they've kind of gone one in each of the common drop-in directions, covering those pathways, and This spawn is about to fade. We'll see a high energy Oracle here, really. Definitely chances to build more. Nice revelation on this Widow Mine to take that down before it causes any chaos a little bit later on, of course. Make sure that base isn't blocked. INnoVation might just send another one, though. Can still keep it blocked as the low ground base was taken. So again, you're kind of fighting over the denial of a 5th base now. INnoVation just going to send one Marine forwards and again, keep an eye on things. He actually didn't see this base yet, so he would like to confirm that. And he does confirm it with the Marines. So now he knows. And Trap is actually making his way to the top side of the map. Is moving into Storm, so shouldn't be looking to be overly aggressive here, right? He's attacking up behind this. He's looking for something extra. Nice stasis ward. Catches the Marines as they try to turn and run. INnoVation will burrow a couple of Widow Mines here. They're actually going to get some Zealots. It's just saving these units is going to be very difficult. INnoVation is bringing more of his army across the map in an attempt, maybe, to kind of be threatening enough that he can force this army away. I mean, this army is actually just chasing, so it's going to get weird because those units are going to pop out of stasis. They might be able to save themselves as we see the Medivacs chased by the Phoenix, of course. But be careful about that. These units do start to run back home. EMPs come down on the ramp and hits a lot of the Zealots. There's a lot of Zealots going down as, again, the bio from the backside is going to find 2 of the sentries right away. Now these units stop here to fight those bio units, so actually the rest of the main army joins up and INnoVation is able to catch a few extra kills. Just seeing the rest of this from Trap joining up together. Revelation to get rid of some Widow Mines. The Phoenix making themselves useful, lifting those out of the game straight away. With the robotics bay and a facility behind this, a Trap looking for the tech up. Generally, Disruptors will be the go-to from here. Although maybe a couple of Disruptors into Colossus. Some players, if Trap feels like he's got the time, Colossus into Disruptors too, but I don't think you've got the time to really get the Colossus up first. Much better to get the Disruptors, have a way to force the Terran army back, keep the Terran army away from fights, and to keep yourself safe. Much safer than usual. Camille's going to unload here from INnoVation as they drop down on this 4th base. Oracle comes in and gets a few SCVs. So it's having a good time as well. Still the rest of this from Trap out over on the left-hand side. Oracle will get picked off. The Ghost coming in there. And now the Phoenix in the center. Going to lift off a Marauder. Marauder's obviously in some trouble. Marines simmering through and the Phoenix taking more damage. +3 attack on that engineering bay. INnoVation's upgrade is actually monumental. 2-2 against 0-1. He's about to have +2 armor Trap at least, but still down on attack upgrades by in a big way. Just feels like everything we talk about here is somewhat like INnoVation favored. Is that really just because of the fake out that happened earlier? I mean, those EMPs are really good for Inno. Can he capitalize on them? There's so many low health Archons that are literally just like a tap away from death. I wonder if it's even worth just simming like a couple of units at those Archons just to go kill them off. Phoenix are just going to try and cause friendly fire from Widow Mines, which has some success. I'd love to see these bad units start to target down the Archons as the Colossus make their appearance. But these Colossus are very exposed, and this is why I would have liked to see Widow Mines, because at least Widow Mines can fire and scare this army off. The Colossus at the moment can't really do anything. And 2 Void Rays from earlier trying to come into the fight. They want a part of this. INnoVation is going to dive. Colossus saved by the Prism. INnoVation target fires that one and gets it. Prism does not lift off. He sent a couple volleys onto the Zealots first before he targeted the Colossus. It's a good job. It makes it difficult for Trap to know when he should lift it up. And as you do see, the next Colossus was saved. And INnoVation just continuing to back away over the right-hand side. Don't think Trap can really do much else there, as a 5th base on the top of this is going to be finished very soon. 3 upgrades coming in on the engineering base. SCV is going to be getting to mining, and with the 5th base about to finish, INnoVation is continuing to sit in a very comfortable position. Has taken some good fights so far. You can see in the resources lost that he's just had. I mean, this fight here was great. I mean, EMPs were amazing on the Archons. It was kind of a miracle Trap even made something happen with those Archons. He actually got a few shots off with them after the EMPs, but really they kind of should have just been dead. So Trap just struggling in these larger fights. Now he's moving into Disruptors, so made a few Colossi, now going Disruptors instead. It's definitely the more stable way to play. It just felt like Trap was already on the back foot and that he kind of needed Disruptors already. And I'm not really going to take that comment back, because I still feel like, yeah, okay, the Colossus have helped to push this back, but maybe the Disruptors were the with the oomph he needed rather than the, you know, just generic slow damage output. Didn't really do that much. Stalkers blink in and 2 Vikings already down. Make that a third. And good damage done there. The Bio still trying to press forwards. Oh my god, the Disruptor shot hits 5 ghosts. They go flying, and suddenly INnoVation just lost a lot of his army. He didn't get a lot of EMPs off just yet, so those ghosts were full of energy. Well, meanwhile, there's a War Prism in the main base, and that means that INnoVation is also going to be losing some bits and pieces here. Just going to see a couple of Zals continue to come into this. Bio going to stem, and the Vikings will be able to clean the Prism up. So Prism goes down. And now just going to be seeing the army from Trap on the offensive. Feels though he might have an opportunity. Especially with the War Prism still buying a bit of time in the main base. There's still some Zealots over here. Tries to get in position. The EMPs do come out. Disruptor shot finds a couple Marines. The scary part is the Viking count's very high. 10 Vikings. And so the Colossus, they don't actually really have the Stalkers or the Archons to really protect them. Not enough Stalkers or Archons. So having to pull back down the bottom. INnoVation is maxed out again. I mean, he's had that 5th base up for so much longer. You can see the income advantage over the last 10 minutes has been mostly about INnoVation. Just now, Trap's starting to take a bit of a lead as he's on 82 probes. He's got a 5th base up, so he can finally use some of those probes. So let's go charge in towards this Bio army, but will not do a lot. Meanwhile, fight breaks out on this left-hand side. INnoVation has to dodge Disruptors. There's a lot of Disruptors here. He's going to target down this one. No! I think he just targeted the one that was going to finish firing later. That was obviously a little painful, but he's going to land the Vikings to help against the Stalkers. Didn't really need them. He is going to now chase the Disruptors. Now I think he's got the damage to actually kill the Disruptors as they fire. Maybe not if they're this far away. We'll see some reinforcements in general from Trap will shut this down, but so many Disruptors lost all the Colossus down. And so you're just missing out so much of the tech that you really need to keep on fighting here as these Vikings land, and Stalkers continue to take a lot of damage. Bio serving forwards, and well, a lot of these Zealots already taking a lot of shots. Bio continuing back. Disruptor shot is not able to reach this Bio army. Now re-engaging in. And the Trap's just not going to even try. He's typing. Mules drop down from INnoVation. A little bit of flair at the end of this as now Trap's like, God damn it, I'm trying to disrupt you one more time, but not having any of it. So just going to be seeing the Nexus going down. GG's, and INnoVation is able to take game number 4 of this best of 9. Now up to a 3-1 advantage. Of course, best of 9 means that we do have to get 5 maps won to win this series out. So we're not quite on match point yet. But boy, has INnoVation really looked unstoppable for the most part here. Minus a glitch in game number 3. Game number 5, and looking somewhat unstoppable. In the bottom left-hand side, our blue Terran is INnoVation. In the top right, our red Protoss player is Trap. So, game 5 of the series. It really is just, it's Trap's time to shine, right? Because if you lose this one, then you're down 4-1, and you need to win 4 games in a row to win it back. It's kind of why best of 9 is so brutal as well, right? Because if your opponent starts winning a couple, it just means that those comebacks are even more difficult. I mean, 4 games in a row is basically like you're down 0-3 in a best of 7. It feels demoralized, and your opponent's ready to win at any point. It's pretty tough. There's Trap being very cautious here, checking the top side, making sure there's no proxy barracks up here. The Rax is hidden though, so INnoVation actually going to hide this on the bottom side. So this is a mind game. As Trap comes across and you'll see there's no barracks, he'll be a bit like, you know, what's going on here? What do I need to do? As this probe comes up in toward the main base. So yeah, he'll be a little bit like, what's happening right now? What are you up to, INnoVation? He'll be a little bit unsure as to what exactly is going on. Is the probe gonna give this SCV a little bit of a tase? Obviously, the Reaper here can just come back in and kill this probe very quickly. He's got it locked in, so maybe he doesn't feel the need to do that. No, he will. He'll just get rid of this probe. It's still nice to get rid of it early, because then you can get rid of any further information it might pick up, like what might happen on the factory. You can bring the barracks back in. But the response that you force from Trap is still as though it's a proxy Rex, because he doesn't know until the Zealot's already done. So Zealot out, now he's chrono boosting the Stalker. That won't really do anything, especially because now you expand high grounded innovation, so the Stalker coming across the map doesn't really apply that much pressure either. Like, yeah, you can shoot over the wall off, but that's really about it. So innovation delaying the Nexus, and as the CC is later, so is Traps. And innovation will be quite happy, I think, with the success that he's had on this little bit of a hidden barracks here so far. So you've seen the Reaper hopping up in toward the main base. Gonna be looking for a little bit of damage as he drops a grenade. Probe's gonna get blasted around, and Stalker dealing some hits. The Reaper will take some shots. Gonna pull back down through the natural expansion, and is gonna be again dealing some hurt to a probe or two. Robotics facility in the main base on the way out. As the Zealot of Trap just continues all the way down the bottom left. Adept coming over as well. And the Cyclone of Innovation coming through. Rax going to finish up this reactor. And the starport going to drop down to Tech Lab. So Tech Lab on its way. Reaper still up at the top with the Robo facility over halfway done now. You'll be seeing the command center from Innovation finishing. So yeah, just extra barracks coming through, and Innovation currently on what could be an aggressive setup. Banshee, tank maybe. Doesn't have too much gas for Cloak, but you could just go Cloakless Banshee and kind of play from there. He's thinking about what he wants to do. Okay, starts up a Banshee now. Marine on the way out, the Siege tank coming through as well. And again, Reaper and this Cyclone continue their way to the upper right-hand side, with the couple of units from Trap already just sitting out front of the third. Reaper deals a little bit of damage and hits a pylon. Stalker gets locked onto. And again, there's the Zealot and the Adept moving through, just going to be shading them forwards. The Banshee on the way out. And again, the Cyclone locks on to chase the Adept away, so the Adept takes a lot of damage. A little bit of back and forth. Going to see Reaper does go down. Cyclone's having a good time. Tech Joyce from Trap was just a robo facility, so sets up into that, goes double observer so far. Obviously that helps him detect the Banshees, but you don't need detection for these Banshees. They're cloakless, so Innovation will just be looking to bring together this very kind of high damage output army, right? You know, Marines, they deal good damage. The tanks are scary. The Banshees too. And it's just a lot of damage output, but it really can. I mean, you know, for example, the Banshees are very glass cannony. They go down very quickly. So if you can get into the right position here, if you can start to break it down as Trap, it actually breaks down very quickly from that point on. As this Banshee is probably going to be intercepted. I don't think Innovation is going to have much luck with this. As there is that Banshee port killed. Obviously, I mean, even if it had Cloak, the Observer was there to shut it down. So it's a good start from Trap. He kills the first Banshee. Will move into the middle. He has an Observer across the map, so you will see this army of Innovation moving out too. So he knows what's coming his way. He's obviously, I think, looking to try and maybe catch this mid-map and sort of force a siege. No, he's actually looking to, okay, cut off reinforcements, maybe even go and deal some counter damage, and then recall back home to save the day. This Immortal is rallying out, though, and that's not meant to happen. What's meant to be rallying out right now is just a few units that can obviously then recall back and be part of the fight. This Immortal is looking to try and flank in. I mean, here's the issue with this. It's going to give Innovation time to get set up. This Immortal is now kind of flanking on its own. It actually gets a siege tank, so maybe this wasn't as much of a mistake as I wanted to imagine it was out of Trap. This Immortal is still very low, though, and of course not near any potential shield batteries or anything. Will go down, and everything in this backside goes down now. Okay, across the map, the 5 SCVs fell. I guess combined with a couple of the SCVs that were across over here. Looks as though this will be a defense from Trap. He's going to push this away. There's still SCVs going down. I guess these are, again, the last couple that were just building bunkers, just momentarily afraid we're missing out on some further damage across the map after those Stalkers had been sent in. SCV's coming in, the Banshee's being repaired as we do have our Dark Shrine from Trap coming up in the main base. Again, that Dark Shrine up and running, the extra gateways added on also into the main. Charge coming up, +1 attack on the way. Warp Prism on the robotics facility is Trap all the way to the 12 o'clock position. These few stalkers joining together. And INnoVation looking to come across toward the third. This observer is okay, gonna see this now. As you see, a couple Banshees able to get some damage done. INnoVation is just kind of continuing with this, but he's also building a third CC, so he actually has a way to turn this around again. I like the Dark Shrine. I think some good kind of aggressive potential. Obviously, you can morph in Archons if they're what you then end up needing in this as well. So Trap's going to flank with the Immortals. And the rest of the army, I guess, will do what it wants to do. He picks off one tank already. Oh, but now he sits around and fires on a Marine. Here come the SCVs from INnoVation, so really looking to get this going. Well, okay then, these tanks currently holding out quite nicely. A lot of Stalkers going down. In the main base, this is where the Banshees have just been sent to pick off a whole bunch of probes. The Immortal's still in the Warp Prism, but there's honestly just so much Marine firepower pressing forwards here, and we're starting to lose the anti-air, so these Banshees are really becoming a major issue. Tank kills off one of the two Immortals in the background. He loses another. Trap does not micro back into the Warp Prism. A lot of probes down already, alongside a lot of the SCVs that were pulled across. Just so many Marines, and while they're unupgraded, they are starting to back the Immortals and the Stalkers into a corner. Okay, another Immortal goes down, and now Trap, you've just got to say, his micro has been a little bit lackluster. Definitely could have been better saving some of these units, and that might have made the difference, as at this point these Banshees are in terrifying numbers. They're getting so much done. Island goes down, the rest of these Marines coming around. That one's taking a little bit more damage. Worker still being picked away at. Tank will siege. Already firing to hit a few of these Stalkers. GG is caught from Trap. He just can't get the power to break this. He just can't find enough units. And it means that INnoVation is going to get himself onto match point. Going up 4-1 in this best of 9. GG's from INnoVation. And he is now one map away from closing this out and laying claim to this series. Golden Wall is in the bottom left-hand side. Our Blue Terran player is INnoVation on match point. I feel like that intro felt as though the first part of it was cut off. Like, this is Golden Wall. Nope, I just said Golden Wall. that was my intro to the map. Bottom right-hand side, we have got our Red Protoss player, Trap. So game number 6. Trap has to win 4 in a row to win this out. Of course, that doesn't feel too great for him right now. I am sure of it. Just felt like this series got a bit out of hand, right? From INnoVation just winning with some early attacks into just consistently keeping the games aggressive. And there was that one game, the BC game, which was a BC that then got cancelled. Even that felt like Trap was a bit behind from that just opening. It just feels like Trap can't quite stabilize in the early few minutes of these games. And that's been his issue so far. As you see our probe moving up into the main, just going to come and nibble away at the SCV. Racks will be completing in a few moments' time. There's another SCV. Comes in to fight the probe off. Very standard. A little bit of fighting in this early game of the TVP. So there's 2 SCVs from INnoVation pulling over and really looking to try and hunt down that probe. Command center is going to drop from INnoVation into the natural expansion, so gets that started up. Probe of Trap. And around into the center here. Reaper is going to finish up. And Marine building now as well, as we do have our probe up to the top side. Nexus drops down onto the natural. INnoVation's Reaper will continue over to the right-hand side, then look for some information. Intrigued as to what this probe wants to get up to. It feels like he's wanting to be a little bit sneaky, because Usually the probe hides from the Reaper and then comes back in to see what's up, but this probe is staying in the top left-hand side. Everything else looks very normal, right? With the Stargate coming through. Reaper comes all the way in, does indeed end up falling. Saw the Stargate, however, so INnoVation's Reaper at least getting the early scout, and Trap says, okay, you see my Stargate, let me just bypass that and go straight to a robo facility instead. So we'll drop down that robotics facility. Robo Trap is hanging around the upper left-hand side. The Adept of Trap coming across the far left. Stalker into the middle. There goes a couple of Marines off into that bunker, so they're going to get in there. And the Adept taking quite a bit of damage. Marines coming through, and the Adept does get pushed away. Little mine of INnoVation building in the main base with the starport coming up as well. Extra gate still coming through, and just seeing that probe moving down here as well. Impact coming through. Getting this ready to go. And I'm just going to be seeing our 2-1-1 setup from INnoVation. As this wall prison was built out of the wall prison was getting built about this robo. So coming across the map to apply some pressure, of course. Because it was on like a 2-1-1, he actually doesn't need to change his build order too much away for the fact it was a Stargate. So this actually works out kind of okay for him. Because now it's not like he's built like, oh, a Cyclone and Viking would be bad here. Stalker's coming through, SCV, taking some hits. Widowmine gets a Stalker kill. Yeah, you see quite a few Marines. Trap obviously sees a medevac or two as well, so there's definitely some info you can be picking up on right now. There's INnoVation, tries to bring those Marines forwards again. It's very scary for INnoVation to go actually dropping across the map right now, because if he does that, of course, the Warp Prism can come in and counter. He actually unloads over here, and Trap actually sees all of this with the Observer, so anything INnoVation doing right now is not really catching Trap off guard, as Trap just says, cool, you're on a little bit of a bio-heavy opener, so I'm just going to take that extra gas. He's actually just going to start going into Storm really quickly. Temple Archives coming up, charging +1 armor on the way through. Yeah, Trap's playing this out quite well so far. As we are going to be seeing the Prism coming down the bottom side. Marines and medevacs out over to the far right. Centering, a couple of Zealots coming down. Just going to be seeing Observer hanging around in the main base. Really getting full information here. So here comes INnoVation looking for an attack. Obviously until Storm is done, you know, maybe there's some opportunity here. As we're going to be seeing our Marines load up into the medevacs, getting ready to go in toward the main. Really trying to find an opening, but it's taken them so long to get across the map that Trap just has so many units at this point that Marines and medevacs are just not scary. So INnoVation is looking for an opportunity against something which is just too strong, too defensive at the moment. As all goes down as the Marines find the Prism. There's still no fourth and third racks, and still no third CC. Just making me wonder a little bit as to what INnoVation's plan is. I think he's just going to push, and then maybe you expand off the back of this, but it's obviously a pretty late expansion. You're still gathering around in the main base. Units of Trap again have Storm now, so out the front, looking good. He already knows where this army is as well. Has high ground vision. The first Storm is on the front of this army and doesn't do anything at all. The bio army doesn't do anything at all. Gets pushed back and he loses a siege tank. Down the bottom side, INnoVation is still not finding much luck either. Another nice storm. I mean, anything that hits this, basically pure Marine Army is going to be good, right, in terms of the storms. So, find a lot of time for himself here. Trap getting more units up. Of course, it is just 2 base on 2 base. Trap's not trying to defend on 3 bases as well, which just kind of makes me think if INnoVation really has much chance to keep on pushing forwards here. And, well, he's going to try and load up into Medivacs. Man, everything's been seen this game. INnoVation needs to scan some of these observers, because if he doesn't, I mean, everything just... You know, then Trap just knows every move that he makes. He's always in position. Trying to get down this bottom side. Storm comes down. Zaltz allowed to charge down. We obviously saw across the map the Warp Prism getting a lot of damage done. Gets those siege tanks. Will maybe lose the Immortal Storms on the ramp. Oh, oh no. Well, Zaltz across the map and not even being slowed down by the reinforcements. And more Zaltz will be warped in. Here we go with this little bit of army up here. The Immortal's going to try and fight this as they press forwards. Couple Zealots doing a good job with the Guardian Shield to help out. The Shield Battery helping the Sentry stay alive. And here come the High Templar with the Storms. And, I mean, Trap just held on every different angle. It's a hell of a defense. Of course, a lot of this is because he gets to see where everything's coming from. Thank you to all those observers that stayed alive. Wow, just a great defense overall, though. Of course, I mean, it is 2 base on 2 base. It's one of these scenarios where it's like defending on 2 bases. It's not that difficult, you know? As these few Zealots unload and SCV is still being swiped on down. Let's see, Prism coming overhead, going to drop down onto the siege tank as well. All of these SCVs being picked away at. And that's going to be basically it for INnoVation. His attack got defended masterfully. And Trap will take game 6 of this series. And will be now still having to win 3 in a row, right? He's still in a lot of trouble here. But at least he's taken another map. He's made this that little bit more exciting for this best of 9. He's not letting this go just yet. He's not just going to give INnoVation that win. He's going to fight for it until the very end. GG's as we go to game number 7. First match point defended. Second match point attempt right now. On the right-hand side, our Blue Terran looking to close this out is INnoVation. Top 12 o'clock position of Purity in Industry will be our Red Protoss, looking to do the very difficult task of turning this around from what was a 1-4 deficit. Now just a 2-4, but needs 3 more in a row in a series where he hasn't looked that dominant. Great defense in the last game. This is Trap. Great defense in the last game, but that was kind of about it. You know, he had a good counterattack on the other map that he won. Good counterattack and a good hold as well. It's been the only good points of Trap. I mean, the thing is, I'd say that those are the good points of Trap, that he's found some good defensive opportunities and he's been able to turn away some of this aggression of INnoVation, but there's been a lot of games where he's not been able to do that, and INnoVation has been able to break through and has been able to take the advantage. Probe of Trap out into the center of the map. Having to move around here at the moment. Just going to be seeing the racks finishing from INnoVation. In the main base, SCVs continue to finish. Orbital Command will morph in. And the Reaper now on the way out as well. So Reaper is building. Trap drops a pylon out into the center. And there is a command center from INnoVation on the natural expansion. So getting that CC up on the natural. Cybercore from Trap will come into the back of the main base as well, so getting that up and running. Not really much to talk about here, bar this in the middle of the map pylon, which is, of course, going to take most of our attention right from the start. It's going to be a Stargate on the Watchtowers. This will be Stargate before you expand, so very quick and obviously very far forwards here as well. INnoVation's Reaper should go past this, right? Yeah, it's actually a pretty cute spot where Reaper Scout will just not see this unless you, for whatever reason, you take the Watchtower, which is just not a common thing to do. But now he sees the late Nexus, so INnoVation will know a little bit of what's going on. Probe will go down, Stalker coming forwards, and will push the Reaper away through the top side. Warp Gate coming up. And our bunker from INnoVation building on this natural expansion as well. Reactor on the barracks, factory about, well, just over halfway done, coming up to completion very soon also. This Reaper is up in towards the main. Just gonna get caught by the probes. Nice around there. Nice grenade though to kill a little bit of extra mining time. Yeah, INnoVation, he's just gonna have to figure out what he wants to defend with. He's gonna get Widow Mines, so that's gonna be his defense. This Oracle's already about to finish up though, so this Widow Mine really needs to get in position, really zone on the natural, zone on the main base. On the natural, there's not a lot. He's gonna get a couple of Marines down into that bunker, which should be okay. A couple Stalkers coming across the bunker is a real necessity. There's the Widow Mine, top side of the mineral line, so you can see Trap being very cautious with the Oracle, trying to figure out just where he needs to be. A couple SCVs going down. 3 SCVs going down as Trap looping around a little bit. This Oracle trying to see what's going on. No, Marines underneath the Oracle. Oracle, no, no, no. Is going to survive, sure, but a lot of damage he didn't really need to take there as Trap. He actually only went for the 1 Oracle, and then he's gone in towards just 2 extra gates. Blink on the way. So he's not being super committed to this proxy. He's not being super committed to just continuing to pump out, you know, Stargate units or anything along those lines. Cyclone, good lock on. Nice. Gets the Oracle kill. Ah, says Trap. Yeah, that's not how that's meant to go. As you see the happy face from INnoVation. As maybe not so happy if he runs into those Stalkers. This medevac will not get across the map very quickly. There was a gateway building here from Trap, which he cancels now. Maybe a bit afraid that INnoVation is seeing what's going on or about to see what's going on. Builds a Phoenix just to help him deflect some of this medevac pressure, perhaps. There's obviously the blink still coming through, and there still can be quite a few Stalkers on the way from this. INnoVation will go to drop again, just brings his medevac out the front this time. It looks as though he's going to go for the ground-based assault. So bringing this through into the center. Cyclone will actually be able to find the probe, and now he finds the Stargate. Nice if you can get rid of this pylon, of course, but the Stalkers coming across to try and defend. I don't think they get there in time, and Trap's just going to wait for the other Stalkers. He's so close to having blinked, but it will not be there, so INnoVation going to get Trap supply blocked. And now Trap going to come straight across the map. All these Stalkers getting ready to go. INnoVation going to pull himself back up in towards the main. Okay, he's going to drop. I don't know why he pulled everything up into towards the main. Okay, he pulled it because there was an extra medevac finishing, that's why. Well, this is intriguing because, I mean, Trap just blinked into the main base. INnoVation just left the main base with absolutely everything. Cyclone here is going to get lifted, blinked on right away. Trap right now might just be expecting things to come from the natural, but of course nothing will be. INnoVation dives straight across the map. Trap has not done anything to defend this back at home just yet. The CV's pulling in, the Stalkers continue to pull back. Tanks will siege and the bio units unloading. A couple of shots firing already. Stalker gets blown up. And the Marines here are going to be able to come through all of these, well, the pylons, the shield battery going down. 24 SCVs lost. Obviously, you're going to kill the main base of the Protoss play. You're going to have 2 bases of your own on the low ground. So even if you lost your main here as INnoVation, this is still somewhat okay for you because you've got those other bases. Trap is now trying to expand on the gold. If this obviously goes in towards a base trade, something like that can actually help out a lot. Not only is there a base that's out, you know, away from your other bases, there's also a base that can actually help you mine a lot more than you may be expecting to at this sort of stage. These Stalkers, though, not doing much more, and that might be the issue. How is Trap ever going to clean up this army in his main base? I mean, maybe he just isn't. He's going to pull his probes away to the gold. But yeah, I mean, now he's just giving up his natural expansion. So he's going down at 1 base against what is 3 CCs of INnoVation. You don't really win with base differences like that, as Trap is out of there. He's done. He's not going to fight any longer. And after he defended the first match point, INnoVation found a very weird game here for game number 7, actually. That proxy Stargate trying to go very aggressive Blink Stalkers straight afterwards. Kind of funny that INnoVation just wasn't there to defend that, and so, but then was just dropping, right? It was a very, very weird way for this to play out and for this to conclude. GG's, GG's. Guys, thank you so much for watching this, of course. Obviously, speaking to my YouTube viewers right here, I really appreciate you guys continue to support the channel, etc. Don't stop subscribing if you haven't already. And don't stop letting us know what else you'd like to see casted in the comments, or let me know what you thought. And of course, do not forget to like the video if you enjoyed what you saw here today as well. We've got a few more of these show matches go up on the YouTube as well. Some more great games coming from the stream. We've had some pretty great games lately, so keep on watching. Thanks so much for all the support and love, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day, of course.